Growing up, man, I spent hours of my life stomping Koopas.
Chris Pratt. You know him, you love him, or maybe you hate him, I don't know.
One of the guys, you should be nice. You got a cross on your chest, man. You're cussing me out. No, you just made you guys a bunch of money right now.
It seems like everywhere you go, Chris Pratt just finds a way into your everyday life. On billboards, scrolling through the internet, you just can't escape him. And it seems like nowadays people can't stand this man. With the overexposure of him being cast in high-profile roles, it just feels like fatigue at this point. People are just tired of seeing him in multiple major projects. And yeah, I'm kind of one of those people as well. Look, I'm sorry, but after the blockbuster successes of Guardians and Jurassic World, almost every studio wants Pratt to be their leading man in their movies, and I just find it just a tad bit annoying when a new movie comes out and has Pratt's name signed onto it. But hey, I'm not saying that I'm a hater. Just like most of you, I think it's just the fatigue that makes me nauseous. I do think Pratt is actually a pretty good actor. I mean, he wouldn't be getting all these roles in the first place if he wasn't charismatic as Star-Lord, or brave and cunning as Dino Guy, and heck, he probably wouldn't get those roles if audience didn't like him as the lovable, goofy Andy Dwyer from the Parks and Rec, now would they? The man has talent, and it shows in these movies and TV shows. But that's not why you clicked this video. No, we didn't touch on a major point in Pratt's career right now that's getting scrutiny. Voice acting. With recent voice roles given to Pratt with some less than mixed results, I have to wonder, is Chris Pratt a bad voice actor? I mean, he's great in live action roles, but why in animated media it's just not the case? Well, first off, it's not just Chris that's to blame. Countless people have voiced concern over having celebrity voice certain characters because of name recognition alone, because you know that's one of the only ways to market that movie.
Whereas if it's someone who clearly doesn't care, that's really when it bothers me. When it's like,
where they go, oh, it's just a cartoon.
They're just phoning. You can hear it in the performance that they're phoning it in.
But you do have some celebrities like Jack Black and Amy Poehler that actually care about these roles and give their heart and soul into these characters. So back to the main question in hand. Is Chris Pratt a bad voice actor? Does he actually care about these roles? The answer? A little bit of both. Now, Chris has done some voice acting in the past on TV, with roles in Ben 10 and Superman, but I'm only going to focus on his silver screen appearances, where he takes center stage in them. And this is perfect, because I have two roles where Mr. Pratt actually conveys emotion and personality, and two other roles where he could have tried way more than he gave out.
They're probably missing me right now. They're probably out looking around. Hey, where's Emmett? Hey, where's my best friend Emmett?
Let's start with his first and probably most celebrated voice role, Emmett Brakowski from the Lego Movie. This film was a breath of fresh air, mixing beautiful Lego animation and a lovable, kooky cast of characters to enjoy.
Look at Randy here. He likes sausage.
And our main character is no different. Well, actually, they are kind of different, because Emmett is pretty much the basic Lego figurine you could find, who lives his life normally in the beginning of the film, before being mistaken as the Chosen. Now, Emmett can seem pretty one-note with his run-of-the-mill status as an underdog hero, but Pratt really makes this performance one of a kind. Emmett is one of the funniest characters in the film, and Pratt pretty much gives out some of the best jokes in the entire movie. Whether it's the cowboy scene, or meeting the other master builders in the Coliseum, there are standouts that always make me burst out laughing when I watch.
You should just be still, act like a stool. Wait!
Howdy, guys!
Quiet, nope, stools don't talk.
Come sit on me!
If you insist.
Pratt also brings out some humanity in the character, showing that even an everyman like Emmett can bring some hope in the world, and proves to be an encouraging role model that's both a goofball and truly sincere. Pratt offers a sense of enjoyment and wonder to the character, giving him a lot of hilarious and heartfelt moments throughout. He really captures the essence of a lovable hero that most audiences can connect to. I'm going to also throw in Rex Dangervest in here as well, since he's literally Emmett's future self in the second movie, just more of a parody of Pratt's live action roles. He does a good job here as well.
There's a mighty warrior inside of you. You just have to let him out.
Next up is his role from the 2020 movie Onward, a Pixar film about two elf brothers who go on a quest to retrieve an artifact that can resurrect their deceased father for a limited time. Pratt plays Barley, the oldest of the brothers, who is more outgoing and adventurous than his younger brother Ian. I think this is Chris's most underrated role on this list, giving out the same heart and soul to Barley as he did with Emmett. But unlike Emmett, who is generally optimistic most of the time, Barley takes a different approach to happiness, as the death of the brother's dad took a toll on him personally in his younger years, and tries to be a good role model for Ian. I know some people didn't really vibe with Pratt's voice in this film, thinking he was a little obnoxious and irritable, but personally I think he did a phenomenal job as Barley. Pratt understood the assignment, and reflected on his performance on his personal life with his brother and father.
Yeah, it's moving. I think that's something that really grabs you by the heartstrings in this film, and it's why this film has so much heart. It's rooted in real relationships and loss and the reality of our mortality.
You can really feel the passion in his voice whenever he's showing great enthusiasm for his brother's magic skills or showing great concern when his brother lashes out on him. I know a lot of people were pointing out how Jack Black would have been the perfect casting choice as the obnoxious older brother, but hey, Chris Pratt did a pretty good job in this role. But oh boy, if we're just now getting to a little bit of backlash for this character, the next 2 or 3 years is not looking so bright for our buddy Chris.
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come!
Okay, where were you on September 23rd, 2021? I remember it like it was yesterday. I went online, saw Nintendo put out another Direct, saw Miyamoto talking about the upcoming Mario movie, and BAM! I got whiplash over seeing a big picture of Chris Pratt with Mario under his name. Oh no, this can't be happening. Like many of you, I was really skeptical about this casting choice, and it was with everyone, not just Pratt, but he was probably the most controversial one of the bunch. Like, how is Chris gonna pull this off? Mario does have a very distinctive Italian voice, and doesn't usually say full sentences all the time, only going by certain catchphrases like Yahoo! And Let's go! And So long, Bowser! Plus, it's hard not to deny the impact of Mario's voice actor Charles Martinet has on the gaming industry, so Pratt already has some pretty big shoes to fill. And to make matters worse, when the first trailer dropped, we got a glimpse of both Bowser and Mario's voice. Now, Jack Black pretty much nails his performance as Bowser. He gave him such a gruff voice that just seems perfect for the character. But, yeah, Chris Pratt was not doing us any favors. Mario pretty much sounded like Chris Pratt.
He's so cool.
Now, over time, when we got more trailers and clips before the movie dropped, we got more insight into Pratt's intentions for Mario, and yeah, there was a little bit of a Brooklyn accent mixed with Italian as well, but there was still just that lingering regular Chris Pratt voice that's hard to shake. Now, I'm not saying this was inherently bad. After watching the film, it's safe to say that I think Mario's voice was tolerable. It could have been a lot worse. Pratt does give Mario more of that I'm from Brooklyn type of accent, and throughout the movie even nods to Mario's iconic catchphrases, which sounds pretty cool. I think the big problem was just comparing his voice to the original. When replacing beloved voice actors like Charles Martinet, Pratt's performance is often unfavorably compared to him. Everybody has certain expectations of pre-existing iconic characters, and I guess when someone tries to switch it up a bit, it can be a little concerning for some audiences who aren't so keen to change. But with that being said, there could have been better choices for Mario as well. While Chris Pratt tried his best for the character, critics argue that his voice lacks the distinctiveness needed for iconic characters, and his portrayal of Mario in the movie didn't match the established voice fans were used to.
First, of course,
The
is
fuck?
Mario, who will be played by Chris Pratt.
What?
Oh, I apologize in advance. The eating you're about to see will not be pretty.
And that leads to his current voice role so far, Garfield, the beloved and memeable cat from the comic strips. When they announced the upcoming animated film of the Orange Feline, you would expect a celebrity that can match Garfield's mundane and pitiful nature. Chris Pratt doesn't fit that bill. In my opinion, this is by far Pratt's most underwhelming voice role so far. This is the definition of embarrassing miscasting.
Who is Cat? What is Cat? Why is Cat?
Garfield does not suit his voice or personality, and I think this is a poor match for the character's sarcastic and indifferent nature. In the film, Garfield just seems a little more active and outgoing, a very different contrast to Garfield's laziness. Apparently, the creator of the comic strip, Jim Davis, approved of Chris Pratt because he embraced all sides to the character, and not just his deadpan humor. Excuse me, whatever sides and traits does Garfield have other than being lazy and deadpan? Mark Dindal, the director of the film, also had Pratt in mind, because his natural voice captured Garfield's personality a lot. No.
Who is Cat?
Look, I have a lot of problems about the film in general, but I can safely tell you that when people complain about Chris Pratt's voice sounding his usual self in animated films, this film usually comes to mind for me in the worst possible way. There was a video on YouTube from someone who could give a better performance for Garfield than Pratt, and my goodness, he was so much better giving out Garfield's boring voice for that trailer than Pratt could in the entire movie. But I guess I can't really entirely blame Pratt for going this route, considering the whole script for this movie is him and Odie going on this Mission Impossible type adventure. And that's just not Garfield at all, in the slightest.
All right, what does everyone want to watch?
So, what did we learn? Is Chris Pratt that bad at voice acting, or does he simply get overhated by the internet? Well, given the right role, Pratt knows how to convey the right emotion for that character, like Emmett or Barley. But when given already pre-existing characters who already have a trademark quality to them, he tends to fumble the ball a bit. Look, Chris Pratt may be polarizing, but to label him as simply overrated dismisses the nuances of his performances and the complexities of voice acting in general. There are many who enjoy his voice work and feel he brings a unique charm to his roles. Everyone has their own interpretations of beloved characters, and while not everyone is going to agree on what considers to be a good interpretation, we should at least acknowledge and appreciate the artistry involved. And yes, that means giving credit to Pratt's efforts. It's easy to criticize someone when they're in the spotlight, but at the end of the day, I think Pratt is just trying to do his best, and that alone deserves at least some respect. But what do you think? Do you think Chris Pratt is overrated? Do you like him as a voice actor? Let me know in the comments below.